Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Lava Lava. I'm your host, Michael Tan, and we are Fiapoco Samoan Marine veterans. We're here to talk about anything that's related to Samoan culture, including the issues in society of today. And right now, we're going to go random here and talk about everything that comes in mind tonight. And the first thing that pops up is social media. We're going to talk about social media and the effects of social media in our lives today. And I'm going to kick it off. When I think about social media, I looked at my phone earlier and I found out that I spend about 3 hours and 10 minutes on a daily average on my phone. But I think it's not recording it properly. I think I spend a lot more time than that on my phone. Social media is a double-edged sword. It's good that it connects people, but at the same time, it makes us alone in our own world, especially if we're on our phone when we're talking to other people and conversing in real life. Sometimes you have the urge to pick up your phone and look at it, or we're at the dinner table and we start picking up our phones, checking our social media accounts. And that's a negative effect that social media can have in our lives because it becomes an addiction, a bad influence for us, especially in our families. We start to heavily rely on our phones. We heavily rely on social media like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever we use to check and feel like we're involved with the world, right? So what do you guys think?
I think it's been a good thing. I know for me it was I left Samoa a while ago, and when social media started popping off, it was like my high school. I was in the middle of high school, and so it was like a way for me to reconnect with all of my friends back in Samoa, all the people I grew up with that I had no way of seeing for a while. Fast forward a couple of years and you get a chance to live life a little bit more. I've been using it to keep in touch with a lot of people I served with in the Marine Corps, as well as other family members across that I met throughout my life that turns out I didn't know we were related. So in that aspect, it's as far as connecting people together, it was a good thing. And then there was a lot of Polynesians that started jumping on the viral trends or becoming viral. And it helped them out financially, building their careers around stuff like that. But I never liked the fact that for some people, it turned into a validation thing. And I believe it led to eventually changing the social aspect in American Samoa, like in real life, in real time. People were a little bit more relaxed. A lot of the respect, like innuendos that people used to do in Samoa has been changed. They say that it evolves with the times. Well, I feel like it evolved worse to where it's more an emulation of Western society as opposed to the old traditional Samoa that I remember growing up in. So, I mean, yeah, it is a double-edged sword, but it's what's the term? It's a tool. It's not good or evil. It just depends on who's using it. It's always going to be like that. It's a tool. So I use it. I like it. I like social media. Yes, it is a bad thing. Majority of my kids have phones. And the other day we were all eating dinner and I started it. Normally the rule is no phones at the table. And I was waiting for dinner. They called me down. I came downstairs, sat at the table, and I was waiting. They weren't done yet. So I was just on my phone. And then when the food got placed in front of me, we got down and said prayer, and I picked the phone back up without realizing it. And as soon as my kids saw that, they got their phones out, and my wife got her phone out. And then I was like, it's really quiet. And I look up and I realize everybody's on their phones. And then I'm like, but it started with me, because when they saw that I was doing it, they're like, okay, it's cool. If Dad's doing it, then we all can. And I was like, it's hard because we are the generation that started the whole thing. But at the same time, you have to know what you want. Are you going to continue this old traditional way of sitting down and having a conversation with your family? Or are you just going to be glued to this device that's going to give you the instant gratification that everybody craves? But I don't know. That's my take on it.
What are your thoughts, JP?
I'm not on my phone a lot, so I can't speak on it. My daily average is like 30 minutes max. My kids don't have iPads. we all sit down and we have family quality time where we talk and communicate how a family should be. But like us
Okay.
being on the yeah. So us being on the phones and stuff like that doesn't really happen in our household.
And
We
you
all
do not
like
have to. Don't lie to our audience like that, man.
yeah, come home, hang out with the kids. Every now and then we'll do a movie night, but that's like about it when it comes to like TVs and phones and stuff like that. Try not to go on social media because I have a lot of friends on there, family that I don't know personally, but they'll message me asking for money. Bunch of broke asses. Go get a job. I didn't come out here to pay for your whatever you asking money for. But yeah, man, I try to stay away from all that. Just being a good dad, man. Hang out, spend time with my kids, and good husband. Talk about my day with my wife, and not post it on social media because those people don't need to know. If I'm on social media, it's because I'm sharing memes, a lot of memes, even if it's super offensive to a lot of people or a lot of cussing. Hey, that's their fault for following me or being my friend. So if you're one of those people, you could always unfriend me. But yeah, man, daily average is around 30 minutes. I don't go on my phone that much, man. I like to go outside, walk around, embrace nature, long walks on the beach, stop by homeless shelter, help out, go over to church, do some charity work.
I like to do all those things too.
So what beaches in Washington?
Washington.
I wouldn't call these beaches because they're pretty shitty. So if you're in Washington, like these aren't beaches. We moved from Cali, and all these Washington folks are probably like, we didn't go back to Cali. Nah, I moved up here because it was too hot down there. But the beaches up here suck. Look like swamp water. There's like moss all over the place. I don't know what the green stuff is. Yeah, it's not a beach, bro.
I think it's called a sea algae.
Yeah, whatever it is, it looks like crap. But yeah, I like to do that stuff, man. Go out, do like pick up trash, just like try to keep this place a good neighborhood for everybody. You know how it is, man. I don't get too involved with these. Every now and then I'll play some PlayStation 5. You know, that's what I have. But that's it's rare. It's rare that I hop on and play with my friends because I'm probably out doing something. So
I know. I go and volunteer at the homeless shelter every now and then and build schools for the orphanage.
Which one? So we could call and verify.
Ogden Trinity Home for Orphanage people.
Okay. All you Ogden folks out there, make sure to check in on Johnny and just swing by, drop him off lunch since he's out there doing all that hard work.
Yep.
All right, T, let's drop some truth.
I was saying I don't use social media a lot. A lot of times my wife and I were writing love letters back and forth and also learning how to make butter. We churn butter a lot at home.
Can you show us how to churn butter? Like what's the yeah?
So, yeah. I'll come over and show you hands on.
Okay. Yeah.
I got you. No. No, but like Tan was saying, it's a double-edged sword, and like Johnny's saying, it's a tool. I think the most important thing is people have control over their life, and they know what's real, and they don't get influenced easy by these, influencers. You know, a lot of times the stuff they see is fake, and a lot of times people have good intentions with what they post and what they try to influence people to do, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So there's that. But for the most part, I mean, we can't, or it's beneficial because I mean that's what we're on. Subscribe, but I mean it's great as far as staying linked up with all you guys and Fatu and Saya and Manu, everybody, all the boys. So that's about as much as I have on social media.
Yeah, social media is amazing, but you just have to take everything that you see with a grain of salt. It can sometimes be dangerous, especially for the elderly folks. They can get scammed very easily on social media. Be aware of identity theft, right? So we're gonna switch it up a little bit. What do you guys think about drugs in American Samoa? What are some stories that you guys heard?
think drugs pretty big in Samoa, and
They sell it through social media.
Yeah, they're using social media to sell drugs.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I think people know, but then they're not gonna do anything about it because everybody knows everybody, and pretty sure all the politicians down there, majority of them are involved. I know growing up, there was a specific shack in my village where a lot of people that held high positions in certain departments would hang out, do drugs. And hey, that's just how it is. And I'm pretty sure it's worse right now down in Samoa. But I don't think they're gonna do anything about it unless they send some white dude from the FBI to actually go down there and take care of the issue. But I'm pretty sure a lot of politicians are involved when it comes to drugs. Are they gonna do anything about it? Probably not, because it's probably
But all the campaigning and the billboards and the ads, the radio ads.
Yeah, but
I think it's fun.
I don't know, man. If somebody really wanted to fix up the drug problem in Samoa, they would, but they're not. Like I said, a lot of these folks in these different departments in the government are involved, because it's just like the biggest. How do you say? It's everything comes in and it hits the customs office. You want honest people in that office, because that's where all the drugs come in and that's where all the drugs leave. But how are we getting all these drugs? Somebody in there is probably involved with some of these suppliers, somebody running the game, and they're not going to do shit about it. And we can sit here and talk about it. Nothing's going to change, because at the end of the day, everybody's getting paid, and money is the root of all evil. They pay shit down in Samoa. So if I'm in customs and a shipment of drugs come in and they tell me to shut my mouth for $500, if I'm getting paid $8 an hour, that's quick money right there. They're like, hey, turn to the other side and we'll shoot you 1,000, or we'll give you 2 kilo, or this and that. We'll take your ticket away. Yeah, everybody's involved, man. People probably get pissed off. So, oh, you don't know. I don't have to know. It's worse up here, especially for a small island where everybody knows everybody. Everything that comes through custom, everything that leaves through custom. And yet it's just like shit keeps piling in. Nobody's doing anything about it. At the end of the day, what do I know, man?
You have anything to share, Johnny?
No, I a lot of it's speculation. A lot of it's, you can see it's gotten out of control. It stays out of control. Before it was like a youth thing. Drugs was normally centralized to a youth thing. I remember when I was little, we were bumming cools, cigarettes, and now all of a sudden they're doing meth and straight up dope, like the hard, heavy stuff. Smoking crack. Come on. And even then, a little marijuana here and there never hurt nobody, but you're getting into methamphetamines and fentanyl and like narcotics, like hardcore narcotics. It's crazy. It's never been like that. And you see it spread, and then you're seeing the usage from the average Joe to adolescents, to young teens, to older folks, government officials, people with prominence, people with authority, with power. And I mean, it's a shame. The vice, even then, like, people have their vices, but to have those kind of vices, those hardcore drugs that can completely tear apart families. I mean, I don't know how many times I see it appear in the community Facebook page, social media stuff. And you can see, has anyone seen my daughter? She's a recovery addict, and showing a picture of them healthy. And then when you see she was found, and you see the actual picture, what she looks like, and she's all just sunken in, and it's a walking corpse. I don't know. It's a new look. I don't think it's a good look. And as JP, it seems like it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a really big issue, and you have no idea how they're going to fix it. I think in order for it to fix it, they need to stop using it at the top. And yeah, that's all hearsay. I mean, I read what people talk about. South, I got family down there, my brother's down there. I hear what they say. All the rumors, speculations. Well, usually the rumors are partially true most of the time. And so, I mean, it can be misleading. And just like how rumors spread, social media is a nice little avenue where it likes to pick fire and roll. There's a lot of misinformation that gets thrown around, but I think there's kernels of truth in there. And then every time I go down to Samoa, I mean, I see it. There's a large majority of the population. There's campaigns there's billboards for change, trying to bring awareness, and people are trying to live better lifestyles, healthier lifestyles. But then the other half is just marred by this stain that is drugs. And it's pretty crazy because that's not the Samoa I remember. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, you don't live here. Doesn't matter. I don't have to live there to care about what's going on down there. I hope to eventually retire there. But
yeah, they just got to hold people accountable, man. Yeah, for other people say, oh, you don't live in Samoa. Bitch, I grew up in Samoa. I still got family down there. They're like, I know how it is. And I say it like that because I care about my island. People down there, they should care too. But they don't. Because they know who it is. I read all these comments and all these stuff on Facebook. And they know the dude doing it. They know the big players, the suppliers. Like, are they gonna do shit about it? Nah. Because that's probably their wife's uncle's father-in-law. Yeah. Or probably cousin's best friend's grandma. He's like, that's just how it is, man. Everybody knows everybody in Samoa.
Now we're gonna go into a much deeper topic. This topic connected most of us. We're gonna talk about gaming.
Here's how we're gonna tie this in, right? So in the game Grand Theft Auto influencing our youth, correct? There's a lot of societal norms that's being expressed in those games that's highly appealing to the young adults of our generation. And a lot of that involves the use of drugs, the selling of drugs, and using the idea of drugs as a form of bragging rights / a way of life and street cred. And this idea that I got nothing. It's gaming.
No, it's gangsters. Just take your ass to work. Yeah. You got a family, take care of your family. Stop trying to act tough out here. Stop trying to act tough on social media. Go to work.
Oh,
get paid.
Yeah, try to be who you actually are. Stop trying to be somebody else online.
Yeah.
We all know that you're not about that life.
Yeah, over there throwing gang signs and shit. And nobody cares. What people care about is you take care of your kids. You putting a roof over their heads. You taking them to school, pay for their college. You doing some community work. Instead of out there graffitiing like buildings and stuff, selling drugs, trying to fight people online, doing dumb stuff on the street, do some good work. Help out at the homeless shelter like Johnny. Do some charity work.
Make sure you record it for social media.
Yeah.
So that everybody can see that you're doing charity work.
I thought JP did that too.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, he likes long walks on the beach and
that too.
And writing love letters to his. Oh no, that's T.
Yeah, because it's different, man. That's why I don't go out anymore. Because you go into bars, clubs, the younger generation, everybody will sit there and grill out of you. But it's just like, what's the point of going out? So I
don't go to bars anymore.
With old people.
We don't do bars.
Yeah, or hang out in the garage.
I don't even do that.
We used to do that back in 29, and it was pretty bad and dumb. But then we also grew up with a lot of Samoans that grew up here. All the ones in gang. What's that? Parkville Cub, bunch of Bloods, bunch of Crips. No, a bunch of them in 29. And what about us? Nah, we were just a bunch of Faipopos, Usakas and Umus. But
what's up, Moose? Where you from, man? Parkville Cub. Like,
yeah, you get grilled everywhere you go.
All right.
I see Samoans, I'm like, Tole, what's up, man? Yeah. But then you see some other Samoans, you go out there and they just like give you the eye. Like nobody wants to say hi. So it all depends on the type of person you are. Maybe that wannabe hard gangster dude that just likes to ruin everybody's day, or be that friendly Samoan, help connect people, bring people together. Kind of like how Manu was. He was the house that we all went to, barbecued, hung out at. Be one of those Samoans. Not the want to drive by and be a gangster Samoans. And all this beef between polys. I see it on TikTok, man. It's so dumb. But it's funny to watch because you see all these idiots on there arguing.
You're outside looking in.
Yeah, and then they start cussing each other out, start claiming gangs, throwing gang signs up, sending each other addresses.
Well, I mean, a lot of that is based off of what they see and what they find appealing. And you see this stuff on TV or social media or movies or in the music that they listen to, you listen to, and then you find it appealing or it resonates with you or it's something that you want to do. And then you manifest it. You go out and you do it. I don't fault people for wanting to do that. I fault people on the credibility of what they want to do when they start to enact things that they don't fully understand about. And a lot of it just really just because I was young too. I remember we used to listen back then, the type of music that used to play was popular in Samoa. It wasn't just all Samoan music. There was a lot of rap and R&B that was pretty prominent when I was down there. And we would listen to that music. We would dress that way. We could wear those clothes the way we wore them. And there's nothing changed. The only difference was when a lot of us come out here and then you see the credibility in it. And then some of those Samoans who live that kind of life, you know, like, wait. This is completely different from what I saw in the movies. I mean, yeah, you're doing it, but there's a whole dynamic and background involved with it. I think emulation is cool to a point, to a T, but there comes a time where when you're trying to chase that credibility, you can get yourself hurt. Something you don't understand. And I mean, ultimately, like the new trend I see a lot, there's a lot of Samoans coming from the islands and they come here and they buy guns. They buy lots and lots of guns. No weapons training, no weapon safety. They just hearsay, and then they fall into that same pit where they're mishandling weapons, taking photos with their guns, the little pistol they just bought, and no idea the nomenclature of the weapon itself. And then they try to portray this, hardcore lifestyle that they're not really about. And I find it hilarious, but at the same time, I find it concerning because, for one, it's not a cheap hobby to get into. Two, without any weapons training, there's a high chance that there could be negligent discharge. Somebody gets hurt. And I don't know, it's something I worry about. I take I take weapon handling very seriously.
There's something I saw on social media said a lot of these folks, they'll say, ride for my homies, ride for my usos. But like they'll never live for their families. So you go out there, say you'll die for your usos, but you're not willing to live for your families. I'm gonna say that again. You're willing to go out there and die for your usos, your homies, whoever you're hanging out with, but you won't live for your families, like your parents, your kids, your spouse. So that's just something to think about, all you gangsters out there. And there's always a way out. All my brothers, they were in prison. All my uncles, half of their lives been in prison. It's not something to brag about. It's not cool. They all get out and they got a bunch of regrets. They wish they could go back in time and change it all. So there's always a way out. If you ain't got no scholarship and you ain't that smart like the Filipinos, join the military. That's what we did. And if you can't join the military, play ball. There's a lot of Samoans, they're very talented. And
what if you can't do neither?
Samoans love to fight. UFC, boxing. There's always a way out.
What if you ain't got no hands?
Like no arms, just legs.
Just legs.
I think one of the problems that our people has is we try to copy what we see, and we limit ourselves by copying what is supposedly cool, like gang life and having guns, posting pictures on social media and all that stuff. But I think we just have to realize that we are our own worst enemy when it comes to exceeding in life and doing what we need to do, especially our responsibilities as a brother, a son, a husband, a father, right? So yeah, when we are young, we do a lot of stupid things, but as we grow, with growth, we get more experience and we get wiser, right? And that's just a problem that our young youth Samoans have is, just being copycats. And it's sad if you're still in that life and you're now in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You know, you're only limiting yourself to be the better version of yourself than you were yesterday. Right?
I didn't choose the streets. Streets chose me.
What do you think, T?
T's from the streets.
From the streets.
Yeah, from the streets.
T works on the corner of the streets.
Right outside Cab Highway.
100. Oh, yeah. Oh, Kamehameha Highway. Nah, yeah, I was one of those wannabes when I was younger.
I think we all were.
I was a horrible wannabe, though. So terrible. But good thing I had good older cousins around my age that checked me quickly in California. So yeah, emulation, there's that. But then I think the better choice is to draw inspiration along with who you are. It was good to see people that you hold in high esteem and want to be like them, but more so carve out your own path. You can be influenced, but find your own way.
Yeah, you can only be original so many times. There's at least 50 of y'all out there being original.
Yeah,
I think you just gotta find your.
That's one of the things I hate nowadays is even though it's a positive thing, like I see people trying to be like motivational speakers, which keep it positive, keep that good vibe, but all they do is they recycle stuff that others have said before them, and they don't provide enough other information to expound upon it and make it more relatable for someone who might listen to them. Instead, we're doing the same thing this person did, but at a lot lesser level and more half-assed and therefore less effective.
Yeah,
Charisma.
I want to see more people do better because there's so many opportunities to make money out here. What impressed me is like Samoans starting businesses, and I know a couple. And then Samoans moving up in the rank because I'm part of the Tour Samoa page. Like that's what I'm proud to see. Samoans being tattoo artists.
I want to see some Samoan dentists.
Yeah, so
I don't know a lot of
my sister's in school.
Shout out Justin Tony Sala over here in American Fork studying. He's a huge power lifter too. He's going to come up to the ranks. But also there's AJ Longo. He's a dentist out in Arizona now too.
That's cool. See,
like that's the shit you want to hear about.
We need more dentists. Because I know a lot of people with
who are politicians,
messed up teeth.
At Gap Gang all day.
Yeah, I remember my mom was telling me that a couple of years ago, somebody finally opened up an orthodontist practice down in American Samoa. Now Homeboy is taking up all of that revenue by slapping braces on everybody, and I'm actually happy about that. Cool, there were some of my friends that grew up with Samoa. They were born with a cleft palate or a hole inside their mouth, and they didn't have the means to get it fixed when they were little, and so they grew up with that, and it became a disability, a speech impediment from a cleft palate. We need more surgeons that can dedicate their time and their efforts and their lives down in back home for stuff like that. The dental treatments, ocular, eyes. I know we suffer from gout a lot. Where's all our, what do you call those? The foot doctor. I want to get one of them. Specializes in ankles, joints, feet, orthopedic. It fall under orthopedic because it's joints. But stuff like that. How about some like licensed nutritionists? Not the guy that took a 3-hour course online. I mean, 4 years of school with a subspecialty. And so that's like 6 years of hard schooling for nutritionists. Where are those?
Yeah.
I remember my parents were telling me about a government program they had in American Samoa where the government would offer to pay for your schooling to go to these programs. And then you had to come back to the island, and however many years they paid for schooling, that's how many years you would dedicate in that field in American Samoa. And a lot of people would go do their schooling, especially in the medical field, and they'll become certified medical doctors, and then they'll do their time and then leave, and then just leave. You got to find enough people that care enough.
Yeah. And to our people, don't limit yourselves. You can do better. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to our episode today. Please follow, like, and subscribe to our page for the latest episode. Till Faso Chua.